Well, hello and welcome to Writing Wednesday. I'm Coach Brenda Hare. Happy to be here today. Trying a new streaming service today. Hopefully, this will work for capturing the full video on YouTube today because the last couple have been a little bit wonky and we don't want that because we've got some good stuff to share with you today. So, today we're talking about two more words that really can just block your writing, block your creativity. And so we don't want that. We want you to, if you have a good idea, we want you to move forward with it. If God's calling you to do it, we want you to be obedient and act it on it, right? So the two words today that we're going to be talking about, the two words that really get us sometimes are yeah, but. Have you ever said this in your head, maybe, when an idea comes to you? You're like, it could be an idea that comes to you. It could be that you're about to sit down to write. It could be a million different things. Hey, Deb, welcome. Happy that you're here. Thanks for joining. And also, congratulations on that beautiful baby. So excited for your baby. And sorry to hear about your news. I saw your post the other day. So be praying for you for that. Okay. Have you ever said in your head, maybe you're about to sit down to write and you're like, "Yeah, but I should really be doing this instead." Or, "Yeah, but I like it almost becomes an excuse, right? Or maybe you have this really good idea and you say, "Yeah, but it's been done before." Or here's one that right might, "Yeah, but who am I to share this story? Who am I to bring forth the message that God's given me? Who am I?" Right? Hey, Lisa, welcome. Um, if you've ever said, "Yeah, but," about anything writing related, type in the comments, "Yeah, but." Let's just see if we have anybody who will be honest about it. I know if I don't, I guess it'll let me type in the comments. Let's see. I have had yeah, but moments. In fact, I've had one recently, and I'm like, no, I know better than this. Deb's honest. She says, yes, I have the yeah, but issue all the time. Well, you're in the right place. I'm going to help you to overcome that with two more words. Okay. So we're going to use two more words to overcome yeah, but. Okay. So, first of all, yeah, but really is indicating some kind of fear, right? It's some kind of fear in disguise. Maybe it's fear of failure, fear of rejection, maybe fear of wasting your time. Maybe it's just some resistance from the enemy that you're feeling. And so you are labeling it, yeah, but I need to do whatever is distracting you, whether it's cleaning the house, yeah, but I work a full time job. Yeah, but I do this, right? All these yeah, buts can really get in the way. It can start coming up as this masquerade, right? Like it starts really showing the self-doubt, right? It's masquerading the self-doubt. It's showing up in your life and it's basically giving you a get out of jail free, right? It's like, oh yeah, but, and so it's this excuse that we put on all of these things, right? And it's just insecurity. So we want to replace it with two words. And if you've read my first book, Save the Buttertubs, you know these two words. Because I had shared this in that book. We talked about it. I actually had a dream about these two words. So it's very near and dear to my heart because I felt so strongly that God was saying, but what if I was in control? But what if I worked all things for your good? What if, right? What if? Those are the two words I want. When yeah, but comes up in your life, I want you to switch it to what if. So for instance, if you're about to sit down to write and the yeah, but comes up and you're like, yeah, but I'll do it in just a minute. I need to put the dishes in the dishwasher. You could say, well, what if I write first and then when I need a break, I can do the dishes, right? We put the what if. What if instead of being distracted right now, I just focus for 15 minutes? What if the idea is, what if the yeah, but is, yeah, but it's been done before. Yeah, that book's been written. People have heard this topic. Maybe your what if is, well, what if I shared my unique story? What if I gave it a new twist? What if my story's a little bit different? What if God showed up differently? What if God called me to this and I don't answer? What's going to happen then? What if, right? What if basically just shuts up that yeah, but? Because what if opens possibilities? And we know that with God, all things are possible. And if He's called us to this writing, all things are possible. We don't know what He's going to do with it. When I think about my first book and I think back to um, all the fear and things that came with writing this first book, all the things I didn't know, and I was so focused on this one book, like that was my one thing I thought was coming, right? And then now look at all that's happened. 10 books later, an author business later, a publish and tell business later. Like I didn't see any of that in 2018. I couldn't see past the book, and I did want to coach people on covers. That was one thing that God prompted after I made a huge mistake with my own cover. God's like, "You could probably help people with avoid this mistake." So that little prompting happened, but 10 books later, like I would have never thought, right? So we don't know what God has in store for us. We don't know the what if we were just obedient, what God would do, right? What if we were just obedient? What if? So if you're on board for swapping out your yeah buts for what if, go ahead and type what if. Deb says she loves it. Lisa says, I love God's what ifs. Yes, because with God, oh, it's really unlimited, right? What he can do through us. And we are the ones that limit it. And we often limit it with just a yeah, but I don't feel like it today. Yeah, but I mean, if you just sat down and made a list of all your yeah buts, I'm sure you could fill up pages, right? Pages. But when we start flipping it and we say, yeah, but I don't feel like it today. But what if by writing, it changed the way I felt today? Right? So start asking the questions. This is coaching 101, like ask questions, right? And so start coaching yourself into the place you need to be. Start coaching yourself. What if I actually finished the book? What if I only got a page done today? It's progress, right? The what ifs start training our brains. And this is so crazy that just this week, like I had planned on talking about this yeah, but idea 3 weeks ago when I did the other two word ego and obedience. No, ego and the other word's not coming to me. The other two words I did the other day. Oh gosh, where were they? Ego? Uh, It's not coming to me. Anyway, go back, watch the video, right? It's there. Two words the first time I had this idea as well. And in between, over the last 3 weeks, I came across this teaching on asking questions as a way to affirmations. So if you're familiar with affirmations, basically, it's speaking things into, I wouldn't say into existence necessarily, but God spoke things into existence. So you can speak things, positive things, right? But it's a way of training our brain into positive thoughts. It's a way of affirming things that we want to happen. It's a way of affirming maybe what God says about us, right? But changing it into questions, expectations. Thank you, Lisa. Look at Lisa. She took notes. She remembered. Hopefully it was that impactful that you remembered. Expectations. Thank you, Lisa. Ego and expectations were the first two words. But when you start asking yourself questions as a way to affirm a goal, it is so powerful because it starts putting the how together in your mind, even though you might not realize it. So if you were to affirm, what if my book was a bestseller? Like, if that's your goal, you want your book to be a bestseller, you could start saying, what if my book is a bestseller? What did it take? Like, just start you asking yourself, this is a way of affirmations. What did it take to become a bestseller? What did it take? Then you start asking yourself all the questions about it. How many books would I sell if I was a bestseller? Like, you're just asking yourself questions based on the one goal that you have, your brain starts to think of all the ways to make this happen. And your subconscious really. And what happens is that when you go sit down to write, your brain saying, yeah, this is how we do it. This is how we become a bestseller. We have to write the book, right? And so it starts changing the way affirmations work in our lives. And so I want you to start thinking about this what if question, and really think about what if I surrendered it all to God and just set aside ego and expectations? What would happen if I was just obedient? Lisa says, yes, the power of the spoken word. Yes, it's powerful. It is so powerful. And so often we're complaining, we're negative, and we're really mean to ourselves, right? We're really ugly to ourselves. We say things to ourselves that we would never say to other people. And we say it often, right? You may slip up and say something ugly to someone in a argument, or maybe, I don't know, in traffic, right? You may slip up and say something ugly, but it's usually a one-time slip up. But with ourselves, we say ugly things to ourselves all the time. It may not just be about your writing. It may be about your lifestyle in general. It may be about your appearance. It may be your health, whatever. You may just be saying ugly things to yourself, and that is not going to be helping you write. So you've got to change it to what if? What if I made healthier choices today? What if I went for a walk instead of took a nap? What if, no, don't get me wrong, I'm all about a good nap, and Jesus took naps. So, hey, if you need a nap, take a nap. But sometimes changing our energy, our motion is what changes our emotions. All right, let's see. Lisa says, I've been writing for a few hours a day this week. Yay. Then I just deleted an important paragraph. Oh no, after I pasted it another space. Oh, yeah, but I'm going to rewrite it. And here's the thing. What if when I rewrote it, it was better than it was before? What if? What if God had something better in mind? He had something better to say the second time around. What if? Right? It's really, really powerful, a switch between two words. Change your yeah buts to what if. Just change it. What if? What if I got out of my own way? Deb says, I'm bad about negative self-talk. I praise and honor others with no problem, but I'm not so good at praising. I hear you. I hear you. So here's a thing that I've really been focusing on recently. Excuse me while I get a little sip here. I've been focusing on positive emotions because it's really easy to think of negative emotions, right? Sadness, anger, depression, like to think of these types of things and to beat ourselves up. It's real easy to go there. So I've really been focusing on changing my affirmations and my questions into positive emotions to change my emotional state and to keep my emotional state in check, right? Now, I get it. There's times when we're going to be sad. There's times when we're going to go through grief. There's times we're going to be angry. Deb, you had a really big thing happen this week, and it's legitimate to be, first of all, mad, to be grieving it, to be worried, all of those things, right? It happened, but we can't stay there. Worry does not help us, right? Worrying is not going to get us past this. So what do? We have to what if ourselves into a positive place, right? So what if you found something even better? What if this allows you to have more time for something else? What if, right? We have to change it and not beat ourselves up. What if I am made in the image of God and he wouldn't change anything about the way I look? What if he created me, right? He created me with this hair color. He's changing it to a different hair color, right? He created me with this pale skin. And it's really hard for me this time of year because my oldest daughter and my son, they tan really, really well. Even my grandbabies tan really well. I do not tan. I never have tanned. But this time of year, I always want a tan. Like I always want to, but it's never going to happen for me. It's not. And I've, tried the self tanners and all the things. It's just turned out to be this orange, ugly mess. And so I'm like, you know what? This is it. Like, this is how God made me. So I'm just going to love me just as I am. And we have to get to that place where we're like, you know what? This is what I got to work with. So what am I going to do with it? Right? What am I going to do with what I have to work with? And oftentimes, what we have to work with is a lot of pain and anger and resentment and bitterness, things that have happened to us. And so we can get kind of locked into that, and we have to change it to, what if I used all those things to glorify God? What if I took the pain and turned it into a passion to help others? What if I just shared with somebody what I'm going through? What if I just journaled? What if I just talked to God about it? Like, there's so many other possibilities besides, like Lisa says, wallowing in it. Yeah, don't wallow. Um, she says, I won't stay there even if I want to. Yeah, it's really easy to stay there, isn't it? Because especially for those of us who work from home, and we can stay there because nobody's around to notice, right? Nobody's really noticing if we're staying in a funky space. Now, I personally have accountability partners in place. I obviously show up live for you guys. So even if I wallowed for 6 days, there's one day a week I have to show up and not wallow, right? I have to show up and be here on Wednesdays with you guys live. And so build in, don't worry, I'm not wallowing 6 days a week, but build in some accountability for yourself. Build that into your writing. Like, you're here today. That's a good accountability. You're not going to wallow today. You're going to write today. And you're going to sit down and you're going to say, even if you're just writing a what if, and you're saying, God, what if I actually finished this book you've called me to write? What if I held it in my hands? How would I feel? What if it changed one person's life? You guys, that makes me weep. Like, what if? What if? What if it changed? I mean, I think of Lisa's story, and I think that she didn't just change one person's life with her story, and her book's coming, so you'll know her story. She didn't just change one life. She changed so many lives by adopting her son. So many lives were changed and are still being changed and will continue to be changed as her story is shared. What if we just surrendered our stories to God and said, help us write them? What if, right? Okay, Lisa says it's taken a long time to have that mindset. I'm going to keep it. Thank you, Brenda, for all the positive talk today. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, what are you going to do? You're going to go right. Okay, here's the thing. I've got 2 short announcements, and let me make sure. Oh, I have a writing prompt for you guys. A bonus writing prompt, okay? If you've ever, well, first of all, I just want you to sit down, and this is the journal prompt. Have I ever discarded something you've called me to do, God, with a yeah, but? If so, show me what it is. And what if I gave it a chance? So you're asking God, have I ever discarded something you've called me to do with a yeah, but, with an excuse? If I have, please show me what it is. And then what if I gave it another chance? What if? What if you gave it another chance? It could be something really, really big. Maybe it's going into announcements. Maybe it's joining Publish and Tell. Maybe that's something you've wanted to do. If you're watching this, whether you're watching live or on the replay, and you're not part of the Publish and Tell community, but you're like, God kind of prompted me to do that, but I said, yeah, but I can't afford it. I don't have time. Whatever the excuse, right? But what if I gave it another chance? Could I then be like Lisa on her way to publishing her first book, Kim publishing her second, writing her third, Yvonne publishing her second, Laura publishing her first? Like, all of these dreams are coming true because people got past their yeah buts and they said, what if I trust a coach who has been there and done that and can take me through to the finish line? What if? and they're doing the work. They're putting in the effort. They're showing up. They're doing the work. So if you're not part of the community and you want to be, you can join. And I'm using this new, and by the way, shout out to Amy. She reminded me of StreamYard. We were having so many problems with YouTube, and she reminded me of StreamYard. And so I was like, yes, I've used it before. Let me hop over there and use it. And so thank you, StreamYard. Thank you, Amy, for the reminder. And so we're on StreamYard today, going live on YouTube. Yay. And we're 20 minutes in, and y'all, we're not circling. So praise God for StreamYard. But here's the link to join if you're interested. And the reason why I share this is because at 12 o'clock today, so in about a half an hour, we're going live with a Q&A. We go live inside of a Facebook group where we answer any questions about where you are specifically in your journey. What's the next step? What's the hurdle? What's got you blocked? All of those things happen on the Q&A. So no matter where you are in your author journey, whether you're just starting, you're in the middle of writing and you've got a hiccup, or you don't know where to put something, or whatever, or you're moving into publishing, or you're moving into marketing, or you're really trying to figure out this author business side, whatever it is, we've got you covered. We'll answer all the questions inside of the Q&A. That happens at 12 o'clock today inside of our community. So if you're not part of the community, you want to be, here's the link. And lastly is our beach retreat registration is open. So if you are interested in coming to a beach retreat in September, it's in Port Aransas, Texas. It's September 26th through the 28th. It's going to be a wonderful Jesus tea and writing by the sea is our theme. And so as you can imagine, we are just going to be pouring out the Spirit, it's going to be an amazing time. I'm really looking forward to this year. We're going to be doing a lot of actual writing at this retreat. In the past, we've done a lot of learning, but this retreat, we're going to actually be doing a lot of writing and a lot of really soaking in the Spirit and what He has for us. And so I'm really excited about this year. So the theme again, Jesus tea and writing by the sea. So if you're interested in that, the link is on the screen. Of course, it's publishandtell.com/beach2025. So I am super, super excited about both of those things. If you can't tell, let's see. Lisa says, I can't wait. What if I actually finished and published this book? Yes. What if you did it by that retreat? Oh, that would be awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And it's possible. It is possible. Okay. That's all I've got for you today. We're actually a little, that was a quick one. Either I'm talking really fast today or just, y'all got it. I mean, you got it, right? We've all been there and done it. And made the excuses, whether it starts with a yeah, but or a not, it can certainly sabotage our calling and what we're trying to be obedient in. And it happens all the time. It might not just be at the initial call, but it can happen any time along the way. We may have said yes initially, but then we get stuck and the yeah, buts start arising and all the distractions start coming in. I want to share real quick. I'm in this book study right now called The Familiar Stranger. And it's such a great book. If you haven't read that book, I highly encourage you to read it. It came out this year and it's by Tyler Staton. It is an amazing book. One of the things he shares in there is that people think we only have one enemy, but we actually have three enemies. We have the flesh, we have the world, and then we have the devil. We have Satan trying to attack us. So we have three enemies at all times that are trying to distract us. Like I said earlier, the ego, all of these things are getting in the way of what God's called us to do. And we need to stop and say, okay, what if God, what if I surrendered it to you right now? So I pray that you will surrender it to Him, that you will what if your way into that writing chair today, and that you will actually sit down, and even if it's for 15 minutes, spend some time writing, whether you're journaling, you're blogging, or you're writing in that book. Get it done. Thank you, Deb. Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed your box. I haven't gone over the last 2 months' boxes live. Shoot me a message and let me know if you guys want me to go through those 2 boxes as subscribers. Because I've closed the cart for now, or at least I'm not promoting it actively. And I don't know if you guys want me to go live and talk about those boxes or not, but I hope you've enjoyed the last 2. I know for Lisa, I almost ruined the last one for you, but hopefully you enjoyed it when you opened it this time, Lisa, and I didn't ruin it for you. And if you're going, what is she talking about? Boxes because you've never heard of me, or the boxes before, I'm talking about the Writer's Retreat boxes. It's a writing retreat delivered to your door every month as a subscription. And Lisa and Deb are both subscribers. So thank you for being subscribers. Thank you for being here today. And if you're not part of the community, I'll see you again next Writing Wednesday. Thank you, Lisa. She says, I loved it this month. Good. I really did too. And I loved how it came together. And that was at the prompting of a subscriber. They asked for that specific topic. And so I just love that. Okay. If you're a member, I will see you at the top of the hour. And if you're not and want to be, join now and I'll see you at the top of the hour. If you are not and can't for whatever reason, I'll see you back next Wednesday at 11 here on YouTube. Thanks for subscribing to my channel, and feel free to leave comments, hit that little checkbox, let everybody know that or the little thumbs up, let everybody know that you're enjoying these. All right. Thanks for being here live. Deb says the last two were great. I'm excited to get Maze. Yay. Okay. Me too. I'm excited for it too. I'm excited the way it's coming together and the little details that are coming. So can't wait to share it with you. All right. Take care, everyone.